め続けたあの日の夜
All right, welcome back, y'all. This is episode 87 of the Anime Degens podcast. And today it's going to be me and Nom today. Dan's not with us. He had some family stuff come up. So I think he had unexpected visitors show up. So it's always the best time. But
Usually how it goes.
yeah. Um, but today, we're just gonna take it easy, this week. And basically, we're gonna be announcing what's coming up on our fall rundown. I know that a lot of people like the rundown, that we do, the weekly rundown. So we're gonna let y'all know what to expect, next week. So that's when the fall rundown actually starts. It's next week. I guess y'all would have noticed already that we didn't do a rundown episode this week for episode 86 because like all the shows was already done except for Tower of God, and we wasn't gonna talk about Tower of God.
It was a useless episode. It was
Yeah.
completely useless. You guys, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, so we're fine on that. You know Speaking of like Tower of God, I guess might as well just say it now. It's not going to be continuing on the rundown for the fall. I think we got some better shows coming up that we know that they're going to be bangers. Um, so, but what we plan on doing is maybe in the future, like after Tower of God, like the second cower ends, maybe we can do like a Degen episode covering like the second half, which is like the workshop battle arc, I believe it is. Which is going to be starting on October 6th, I believe, if I recall correctly. So we'll probably try to do that. We'll probably try to like cover the second cower or whatever, unless it's trash. I have to put that in like beside it. If it's trash, then I doubt us covering it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I got a lot of big hope for the second cower of Tower of God season 2, because the first one, like, it didn't really get there for me. Like, it started picking up. So we'll see what happens with like the BR type thing. So Nam, what do you think about it? You got any feelings going into it?
Um, I'm just really hoping that it really picks up because near the end it was really lacking. Like I said, that last episode was just absolutely worthless. I mean, I did do want to point it out. I did call it. Okay, there was one more episode, but it was basically just them setting up the workshop battle. So when they get there, right, they're just cutting straight into the action. Which will be nice though. All right, it'll be a nice change of pace. So
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I got a lot of hopes for the second cower, because if it does not um hit anywhere close to what season 1 did, like, I'm probably not going to continue it. So just being honest. So I'm hoping for Tower of God's sake that it does, like, they do a good job adapting the second half, because I'm really hoping for it to hit. So
yeah, for sure.
Um, I guess before we get into like the news, because we got a few pieces of news today, just want to let y'all know the best way to support us is to rate the podcast. Make sure you tell your friends about us. If you have any interesting topics that you'd like for us to cover, or any shows or anything like that you want us to take a look at, and or review maybe, or anything like that, movies, just let us know. Let us know in Discord. DM me on socials, all that good stuff. You can even add us, add us on social media. Um, I'm, I'm pretty consistent on Threads and Twitter. Instagram is iffy. Everything else is like, I just get on there every once in a while. So, yeah, just let us know. One other thing we got coming is, since it is October, we're going to be doing spooky season watch parties all month long. So we're going to be doing, instead of the pose, having normal shows or whatever, like newer shows, normal stuff. It's gonna be like Halloween, like spooky themed shows. So our first one's gonna be, in a couple days on Friday. We do them every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, 7:30 Central. So make sure y'all pull up. We're gonna see what's going on. So time to get scared. Time to get a little spooky in the house. So have you watched very many spooky season animes? Nom?
I don't do well with spooky, so no, I have not, and
Damn.
preferably I would like to keep it that way. So
Damn. Yeah, I haven't watched very many spooky shows myself, not because I don't want to, it's just because like I just haven't. It looks like I just looked at a poll. It looks like Vampire Hunter D is actually gonna be the first winner of the poll. So that's probably what we're gonna be watching in a couple days on Fridays. So you
okay,
can join our Discord or like find all of our social media at linktree.com/anime degens. And I guess before we get into our introduction for the fall shows, let's go over some of this news now. We got quite a bit of banger news happening right now.
absolutely. To start off with, Wistoria season 2 has been announced, and that show has just brought some straight heat, episode after episode. It's a tried and cliche kind of a trope at this point. Magic world, non-magic user as the main character, but man, are they hitting like a lot of good check marks there, right? It's
Yeah.
just so good.
Yeah, I think I speak for a lot of people probably, but when Wisteria first came out, I don't think it was on any like I don't think it was on very many people's radars, and I think a lot of people watched the first episode thinking it was going to be sort of like Mashal or whatever. But I think that a lot of people got blown away by just how good of animation it was because like it was like one of the best animated series of the summer season, like from the start. And like I really appreciate that. That's kind of what pulled me in. I was like, okay, this anime is gonna be serious. This is gonna be like a really good watch. And so I'm glad that we got to see this. I'm glad that we're getting a season two because season one was really good. I really enjoyed it a lot. It reminded me of Black Clover vibes. Like I'm a big fan of Black Clover, so I'm glad that we got something like this out there that's getting that second season because it gives me something to look forward to in the shonen sphere. So, um, speaking of all that, Frieren season two actually got announced as well, which we knew it was coming because a show this good isn't gonna just stop. So it was just a matter of like when is this coming? So we finally get an official confirmation that season two is coming. It's gonna be a season. We don't have a date though, which is unfortunate. I would assume that it would probably be like late next year. If I was just like guesstimating. But I guess we'll have to see. I don't really want them rushing because I want them to be put out the just as high quality of a show as they did with season one. So
Absolutely. Um, Still have to finish watching season 1 of Free Run, not gonna lie.
yeah,
I'm about halfway through.
no, I'm gonna get to it though. I promise you because whenever this comes out, this will be on the rundown. So Furin is like really good. So um apparently, there's also a prequel novel coming as well, and it's going to be covering Frieren, Fern, Stark, Kane, Lawine, and Aura. It's going to be called the Shosetsu Soso no Frieren Zinzo, and it's going to be dropping April 17th. So we still got a while for that one. Um, I just wonder like what the basis of this is going to be. I know that it says it's going to be covering all these people, but like is it going to be covering like their past. So, like, I just don't know what they're going to be covering. You know, it is a prequel though, apparently. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm pretty
Um,
excited for all that. So,
nice. Speaking of other things that have been announced, and we're gonna go with or confirmed rather. Reincarnated as a slime, season 4 has been confirmed finally. So yeah, we're gonna be getting that. Obviously, there's still a little bit more of the story. Um, there's also a movie coming too. So I wonder, is that one going to be like a tie-in movie? You think
I
in
don't
between the
know.
seasons?
Because the last movie, it wasn't, if I recall correctly, the last movie wasn't canon, right? It was just like, I think it was like a, wasn't it like a recap or something? Did you even watch it? I don't think I watched it. So,
I think it was a recap. If
yeah, like a
I'm not mistaken.
compilation recap thing. I wonder if that's what they're going to do with this one. So, um, but either way, like I'm excited for the season 4 of Slime. You know, everyone was kind of iffy on it when season 3 first started because it'd been a while since we seen Slime, and then it came out and we literally got, it feels like 10 episodes of meetings, back to back meetings. I'm like, I may be exaggerating a little bit, but
No, you're
it
not.
really did feel like 10 episodes of meetings. It was at least 7, I guarantee it. Um,
No, it was 26 episodes of meetings.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, promise you, it was at least 53 episodes of just constant meetings.
But it was a little slow in the beginning because of all the meetings, and I guess the meetings, had some meaning, but I think there's a better way to get those points across without having every single episode be a meeting episode for like the first half of the arc, the first cower.
And
Because
then they get to action, right? This is what really irritated me. They get to action for a single episode, and then the next episode, they're like,
meetings.
"All right, time to get back to meetings, ending conflict."
I mean, don't get me wrong. The fight and the action was like pretty good, but it was really short too. And like Nam said, we think that we move past the meetings, and then
Oh
we come
god.
in to the next week and we get another damn meeting that lasts the whole episode. I'm like, damn, what are we doing here? So,
Why?
but thankfully in the second half of the season, it actually got to the part of Slime that I really like the best, which is like the world building aspect, and him building his city or town or like nation, whatever you want to call it. And we got back to that. So um I really think that season 4 is going to be um some more drama added. I think at the end of season 3, we kind of got like a little foreshadowing for some like another like antagonist to come in and start some drama. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm pretty excited for it. I stuck with it, so now we're here. So you got any you got any more
This
thoughts on slime?
no, I think we got it pretty well covered and situated. What else do we
We
got?
missed a big opportunity, Nom, when we didn't have slime on the rundown because we could have had a meeting about the meetings in reincarnated as a slime.
All right. I'm really gonna be pushing for my One Piece rundown up now. It's gonna happen one day, chat. We're gonna do One Piece live action, the One Piece, and One Piece all in one episode. All because of what Tyler just said.
Well,
Mark my words, it's coming.
speaking of compilation movies, like the slime is going to be getting, possibly we don't know it's a compilation movie. We just know it's a movie. We're just theorizing. But anyways, Dangers in My Heart is actually going to be getting a movie, a compilation movie, but it's not going to be just any compilation movie. it's gonna be they're gonna be adding new scenes to it. So um it's gonna be a compilation film plus some new scenes added into it. And so I'm pretty excited about that because I honestly thought we wasn't gonna get any more of Dangers in My Heart. So big fan of this. We get to see just a little bit more. I'm good with it. So give it all to us. So but I know Nam hasn't watched that, and he probably has no plans to watch it. Um, so I
I'm
guess
sorry.
we'll get into our next bit of news. I think it's our last bit of news. So
Yeah, move over compilations. It's time for collaborations.
there you go.
This time we have Overwatch and My Hero.
Okay.
So this one I found kind of shocking, but honestly not too far fetched. Um, they have five characters that they are going to be giving skins to. The characters are going to be Tracer, who will become Midoriya, Deku. Juno will become Uraraka. Reinhardt is going to be All Might, a very mechanical looking All Might in full power form, which we all know is BS. He lost it. I'm sorry. Um, Reaper is going to be Tamura Shigaraki, which actually I find is a really good pick for that guy. Um, it just feels like a really natural pick. And then they have Kiriko as Himiko Toga.
Honestly, I think the toga and the Uraraka, I think those are the best ones in my opinion. Just looking at them. So like
Honestly,
I'm a big fan
I
of toga. I ain't gonna lie. So
I got really fooled with Uraraka, so I'll give it to them on that one. I mean, you made a comment earlier, right? And I can't exactly remember what it was. Um, and I don't know how everyone else will feel. I guess you guys can let us know in the Discord. Anime Degens, discord.gg/anime Degens.
but that don't work anymore. By the way, we lost our boost. If somebody wants to boost us, then we
No.
can get that again. But right now we're back to generic invite links. So
All right,
unfortunately,
well, linktree.com/anime Degens. You'll find the Discord link in there. And come give
uh,
us a boost so that way we have the special link again. Um,
arigato.
but I think they're really well done, personally. They put a lot of work and effort into it. Like I said, the Shigaraki looks really, really good, and I gotta give it to Tyler. Uraraka and Toga also look really, really good. I was fooled because I haven't played Overwatch 2. I'm a little salty after they decided to just shut down Overwatch 1 crossplay and then shut down Overwatch 1. So I know that 2 is free to play. I know you can get all the characters now. I know it's a lot better. Still a little butthurt over it. So that being said, I had no idea who Juno was. I had no idea who Kiriko was. All the same, very, very well done.
You know, even though I play Overwatch 2, like occasionally, I actually enjoy Overwatch 2. I played a little bit of Overwatch 1, but nothing like I do Overwatch 2. Um, and I still don't really know who, like, I had to look up who Kiriko was and who Reinhardt and Juno was because I didn't know who they was. I know who Reaper is and Tracer is because they're annoying. You know, for me, like I'm a soldier main and a Ariza, I think it is. If you want to tank, like I just play tank and damage, and that's the two I try to pick every time. I'm just pretty good with them, especially soldier. So I wish we could get like some soldier like collabs going on. You know, that would be nice. I know the last anime collab we got with Overwatch was Cowboy Bebop, I think, if I recall correctly. It was the last one. Um, but I'm just wondering, like, when's the One Piece collab, bro? Like, come on, give me Usopp, bro, for shooter, right? Like, give me something. You know, give me something that I can buy. You know, but
Look, I was always when I played, I was actually a Reaper main at first.
Reaper's dangerous, bro. If you can hit your like, what ain't he got like a deagle, like a wingman type shit? Like,
Yeah, he's
um,
got two of them,
yeah. So he's dangerous. Like he's one
but
of the ones that always like gets
he's a
me.
glass
You
cannon
know?
too, though. That's
Yeah,
the thing. So
yeah.
you have to play it really smart.
But it's hard to get him because he can do that shadow mode or whatever. So the same way with Tracer. Tracer, like I said, Tracer and Reaper are so annoying to fight against as a soldier because you're expected to be taking them down, you know, and it's just so hard to hit them because they got all their like mobility or whatever. So
Yep. But the other character that I used a lot was Lucio.
okay, that's the healer, right?
Yep. One of the
Okay,
supports. He's got the he's like the DJ. He's got the ability to also bop you off the edge.
okay, I got you. But yeah, I'm glad to see these collabs happening. Like I said, I wish that we could get some like One Piece collabs and stuff like that, you know, that would be great. Um, but I mean, My Hero and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that is okay too. Just I just want something I like too, you know what I mean? So, with all that being said, I guess that's the last of our news, and it is now time to move on to, you know, what we actually came here to talk about, and that is going to be the fall rundown introduction. So, like I said, the fall weekly rundown is going to be starting next week with episode 88. Um, like I said, there was not a rundown episode this week, episode 87. So, you know, we didn't have anything to talk about really. One Piece was on a special. We only had one show. Every other show ended already, and we just felt like it wasn't enough to talk about. Tower of God. Uh, you know, there wasn't enough happening. So, um, but next week with rundown episode 88, we're gonna be starting, um, you know, three new shows.
Two new shows. One of them will be the week after. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
Yep.
But the
But
fall
all the same.
rundown, yeah, the fall rundown. We got three more shows coming, three new shows coming. They may not all be on next week's rundown because they start late or whatever. But the first one is going to be Bleach Thousand Year Blood War: The Conflict, aka Part 3. And this is going to be on Hulu and Disney as usual. It's going to be starting on October 5th, which is a Saturday. And we felt like we needed to do Bleach Thousand Year Blood War because we've done the last two. So like we're really big Bleach fans. Dan literally made Nom watch the entirety of Bleach in 1 month to prepare for this. So yeah, how do you feel about us watching Bleach? So,
um no, I'm excited actually because you know I really want to see what happens. I need to see who else dies. I need to see how everything carries forward. Um Not to mention too, like watching the original Bleach, it obviously they toned it down greatly because you know they're trying to make it for kids, and now that's no longer the case. So they threw all that out the window and they decided to do full on exactly what the Thousand Year Blood War was, full gore and everything. So we get to see all of that now, and we get to live all of that, see all the deaths, see all the crazy stuff that's happening. um the
yeah,
12th captain, I can't even remember his name right now, but to see him experimenting on Hitsugaya and stuff like that after he got turned into a zombie, you know, hopefully he comes back because it'd be really fucking cool. And I'm hoping that they just animate, you know, like manga trope that shit and just, oh yep, he comes back because story plot armor.
yeah.
um
So he's talking about Kurasuchi, by the way, y'all. The 12th captain or whatever.
yes,
The
fucking
Uehara part
sun
2 or
god.
whatever. So
No,
Um,
sun god is what I'm gonna call him because he's shining like a goddamn light bulb,
I mean, he's smart
attracting all
though.
the. It is. I'll give him that.
But yeah,
It is
the
incredibly smart.
Thousand Year Blood War, like, you know, I Kubo didn't think it was ever gonna get animated, so like he just did it how he wanted to do it. You know what I mean?
Full
And I'm
send.
glad he did because this shit is dark, this shit is interesting, and this shit is bloody. And there's a lot of deaths because that is what the Thousand Year Blood War is. And like I'm pretty excited to see this you know, get animated. Like I was super excited compared to like the original Bleach shit, you know? Like this is like way better animated, way better looking, and it's just way more interesting. Like this is the best that Bleach has to offer. And like I really hope that people are watching this because this is it. You know, this is what Bleach is. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
no, it was absolutely phenomenal watching Thousand Year Blood War. As painful as it was, the original Bleach, I can also understand why they didn't want to continue on with it because it was so inconsistent and you know it was it'd be hard to continue to adapt it while putting in just as much filler as there is actual story. This
yeah,
way they can just tell the story. So I'm really happy about that. Um, real quick too, did you hear about the game that they're announcing?
yeah. I've seen that they had a game coming out. I think it's like in the next few months or something like that. I don't remember. It's like Shining Bankai or some shit, right?
No
Are you gonna
idea.
like check it out?
It's gonna be an arena fighter. Um,
Most anime games are, you know what I mean? So
there's quite a lot, yeah.
yeah,
This one is gonna feature like the most broken character who will lose his ability right after he's done winning. So,
who's Sasuke?
nah, we're talking about Ichigo.
Oh.
Whatever power he uses, he's just gonna lose it after he wins the fight. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen at the end of this fucking arc here, right? He's gonna like tap into the full power of his Bankai, and then he's just gonna like, all right, that's it. I'm done with the Bankai now. Time to move on to something new. Where's my new shiny toy?
Uh, do you recall if we got to see like his new Zanpakuto form or whatever in the last part?
I don't think his form, but I know that we saw his new weapon.
Okay, and it was because we seen in the trailer. We watched the like the sneak
Yeah,
peek trailer or whatever, and we seen it. It's like two. He's got
yeah,
two.
no, he forged that
Yeah.
in the second part of Thousand Year.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see that because I, you know, usually Ichigo only has one, you know, big sword or whatever, or like one sword, and now he's gonna have two. So, two
Yeah, he's
Zanpakuto.
got Zangetsu and then
Yeah,
fake Zangetsu.
yeah. So, it's gonna be really interesting to see, you know, him having to adapt to a new fighting style because like you have to, you know, fighting with one sword going to two swords, like that's a new fighting style, you know. So, but you know, last episode I mean last part, you know, we had a lot of training happen and we had a lot of fighting happen between like the Soul Society and the Quincy's, and you know now Ichigo's done training. You know, he's ready to, you know, go out there and take the take Baja and Quincy's on. So I'm pretty excited for that. It turns out that there's 206 total Thousand Year Blood War chapters, approximately. Part one covered 62 chapters with 13 episodes. Part two covered around 67 chapters with 13 episodes as well. And so that's going to leave about 77 total chapters left to finish out the Thousand Year Blood War arc. So um, I'm trying to think like, uh, I think this will be the last part. You know, I think this is it. This is the last part of Thousand Year Blood War, I don't know. I really do think that it's gonna be a little bit longer than 13 episodes. I feel like they have to have it a little bit longer than 13 episodes. Maybe 13 episodes in like a short OVA or something like that. You know. What do you think?
I don't think that this is going to be the final one.
I don't know. I
I think what's going to happen, because he did it, so he has admitted that he is going to be adding more original content than what was actually put into the manga.
Well, he's been doing that the whole time too, by the way. Like he's been adding
Yes,
stuff to it the whole time, so
yes. But I don't feel like it's going to be the final part.
it's just so like I originally thought, that we would probably get like this part and then the aftermath, what comes after this war, I feel like that could be like I said, an OVA or a movie, like 3 or 4 episodes of an OVA or just like a full-time movie. I feel like that would be enough to cover that probably. Um, I just I don't see it going like 2 hours though. Like I don't see it doing like full 13
Okay,
episodes and another 13, you know what I mean?
so apparently there already is a fourth cower planned for 2025.
Really? Would
Yes.
you say that on Mal?
No, I'm just looking around right now,
Okay. Yeah, that's
but a
mm,
lot of sources.
yeah, I mean, I can see I guess I can see it happening because there is going to be based on the rate that they've been going, right? Like there's still going to be, a few chapters left. Like I really hope that they don't try to cram 77 chapters into 13 episodes, you know what I mean? Like they should not do that whatsoever. That's why I was saying maybe a movie, after to finish out the the last little bit. So, but I mean, I'm fine with a another part. I just didn't think we was gonna get another part, honestly. So, because I
Um,
mean, I don't know. It's been a while since read the manga, and I just don't know what they would have in that last part. That would be like hella exciting unless they're gonna like do the final shit, the final fights and shit, which I thought that's what this one was gonna be. So I don't know.
th- this one probably is gonna be that. I could see it being something where it's like, the after effects and whatnot, and maybe like, was there anything written after Thousand Year Blood War?
Yeah, so they could go that route, and maybe like finish up the what comes after, what happens after, and then they might get into like the side stories or whatever that came after Bleach, They could do that, as well. So I mean, I could see it happening. I really could. I mean, I hope for another part as long as they give us, good shit. You know what I mean? Because like once this is done, once Thousand Year Blood War is done, like Bleach is done basically, and then we'll just have to get our like Kubo feel with Burn the Witch and whatever else Kubo is working on. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, pretty excited for this. There ain't a whole lot more we can talk about with it. But like I said, we done the first couple parts of Thousand Year Blood War on the rundown in the past. So we're continuing it. We're doing the third. Um, we're ready to see what Studio Pierrot is cooked up. So just bring it on. I guess we're ready to see more people die. So,
There's one way to put it.
do you want to get us on to the second new show of our fall rundown now?
Yes, yes, I do. That show is Dan.
Dan, 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 dan.
So,
Damn.
this is going to be coming out on Crunchymation, Netflix.
Crunchy
Turns out
Base.
also
What the hell? Crunchy Mation. I
they
wish it
bought
was
out Funimation.
Crunchymation, bro, because damn, we'd have a better product at least.
Look, they bought out Funimation, so I'm gonna at least add it to the end of their name. Um, but it's also gonna be on Hulu, Muse, and ADN, and everything else apparently.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, nobody gonna be watching on Hulu, Muse, and ADN. Like people gonna be watching on Crunchyroll and Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Um, it is being heavily advertised by Netflix. I do want to point that out. So it
Yeah.
does seem like maybe Netflix is probably got some sort of funding in this.
I
Um,
I think that Netflix probably will be like the home of the dubbed. If I had to like call something like that, I think Netflix will be like the home of the dubbed.
yeah,
Um
yeah, that seems very, very something like what they would do.
yeah, just like
Um,
No-Katan. No-Katan, the subbed was on Crunchy, and then you could find it dubbed only on Prime. So I think that Netflix will probably try to pull something like that with DanDaDan. So
oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah.
Um, this is going to be dropping October 3rd. So by the time that you guys are probably listening to this, it's already going to be on, right? 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is 12 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone
And
in between, figure it out.
yeah, and if you are listening to this and you haven't watched the first episode of DanDaDan, y'all need to just stop listening to us and go watch DanDaDan and then come back.
Yeah, for real.
Because
At one
yeah,
o'clock tomorrow Eastern, when I take my lunch, I'm gonna be watching this. All right, at work.
I'm I'm so hyped about this show. I almost called you Dan. God, the rundown's gonna be so hard with Dan on there.
No, it'll be awesome. Um, so this is being done by Science Saru. So you know it's gonna have some really, really weird animation. Um, but it's gonna fit it, right? Because this is an action comedy supernatural show, right?
Romance too, by the way.
And I guess romance too. Tyler loves his romance.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure that I'm pretty sure like the mangaka and stuff has made it a big deal to make sure people know that this is a rom com. So
okay, well, we'll definitely have to, double check that, and we'll let you guys. Um, but yeah, so the summary of this one is we get to watch Dan as he goes around trying to sell robot dogs to people.
that's not the true summary way. Even though Dan
No.
does that in real life. And he tries to steal people's bananas.
It's his
That does not
show.
happen. Yeah.
It's his show. No, so,
That
after
that's called
being
that show is actually called Dan the Man. No, not Dan the
Gotcha,
Dan.
gotcha, my bad, I forgot. No, so the summary of this one, though, is after being aggressively rejected, Momo Ayase finds herself sulking when she stumbles across a boy being bullied. Saved by her rash kindness, the alien obsessed boy attempts to speak to her about extraterrestrial interests he believes they share. Rejecting his claims, Ayase proclaimed that she instead is a believer in ghosts, starting an argument between the two over which is real. In a bet to determine who is correct, the two decide to separately visit locations associated with both the extraterrestrial and the supernatural. Ayase visits the former, and the boy visits visiting the latter. When the two reach their respective places, it turns out that neither was wrong and that both aliens and ghosts do exist.
I was gonna say plot twist. They both exist.
Surprise! This marks the beginning of Ayase and the boys' adventure as they attempt to fix the surreal, supernatural, and extraterrestrial elements around them to return to a normal life.
Yeah,
Um,
um,
so we know two things.
bananas.
We're not getting the bananas yet. Um, So we know a few things. I'll say. First off, the female's lead is Momo.
Yeah.
The male's lead is Ken.
Yep.
Um,
Based on Mao, anyways. Which in
yes.
the synopsis they kept on saying the boy, so I'm not sure why they kept on saying the boy. Which I mean, it doesn't really matter. Who actually reads synopsises, right? They just watch the trailers. So that's what I do. I just watch the trailers. I don't
Yes,
read the
and
synopsis.
honestly, no, the trailer was really interesting and captivating. We talked about this, I think, on a previous Degen episode,
Yeah, a
right?
few weeks ago.
And
Yeah, then fall look ahead or whatever. So
yeah, and I was like, even if we're not gonna be watching this, I'm still probably gonna watch it. And then Dan was like, "Oh no, we're watching it."
no.
So like,
Yeah.
it's one of those shows where it was really interesting, really captivating. Um, so we've watched both trailers at this point, right?
There's actually several trailers, but I think we watched the all the other trailers when we done the fall preview or whatever.
Yeah.
And now they got like the newest trailer that came out or whatever, and they also got an English trailer. But the new like trailer that came out, like it didn't really add anything to it to me. Like everything that we seen in the new trailer, we'd already seen before. Um, like it really seems to be like very colorful, very well animated, very funny, with some like uh iffies like anime scenes. I'll call them anime scenes. Like you definitely see some anime scenes in this. And talking about like sexual reproduction and bananas, uh, being
They
referred
love them
to.
some bananas.
So, like, it's definitely gonna. I feel like it's definitely gonna be a fun ride, based on the trailer. What is more interesting though is the English trailer. And, I haven't really heard anything about whether or not this was going to be simuldubbed or not. So I'm kind of curious, like, how the dubbing is going to work. Like, are they going to be a week behind, or is it going to be subbed the whole way through until after the season, then we get a dubbed? Like, I'm just curious, like, how that's going to work. Like, I have a theory, like I said earlier, that Netflix would probably do the dubbed because they like doing that type of shit. Maybe they do it like simul dubbed or like a week behind dubbed, because I think this is kind of getting like the Kaiju number 8 treatment. You see it everywhere. Like as soon as you open like Crunchyroll and like anything, like you see DanDaDan. So um I really think that they need to go all out on this because this is going to be a good show. This is one of the most hyped shows of the fall. Um, so I'm excited to see this on the rundown. And what did you think about the English trailer, Nam? What did you think about the English voice actors?
It was pretty good. I felt like they did a really good job. They put a lot of emotion in their voice, and I feel like that is something that has gotten a lot better over the years with the English voice actors and stuff. So I was really glad to actually hear that and stuff like that. I don't think that if it's not gonna be English on Crunchyroll, I'm not gonna seek it out, right? Like it's not one of those things where gonna need to watch it in English. Um, but at the same time, it was still something that I could really get into, and it felt like it was more natural, right?
Yeah,
So
I think that if it's English on Netflix, I feel like it's gonna draw in some people that usually don't watch anime. They're gonna see it and they're gonna, it's this is one of those anime I feel like that like can like transcend uh, you know, uh like people that don't watch anime, you know what I mean? So like they can see like a trailer of this, especially if Netflix like really promotes it. They see like, you know, them talking about bananas and shit, right? Or some kind of bullshit that's funny. Like I can see people like clicking on this and watching it in English and actually enjoying it if they don't usually watch anime. Um I really do like the voice actors that they picked out for the English. They really fit the vibe that I thought that the characters should have. At the very end of the English trailer, like we see the aliens or whatever, talking about how they need to take their bananas to do like reproductive or like organs and shit like that. And I love how they like portray them in English. They it fits like the vibes. Like it's like a sophisticated alien, and I love it. I
It's
love it.
definitely one way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a sophisticated alien.
I mean, does it not sound like a sophisticated alien, right? Like
I mean, considering that we don't know how aliens sound in the first place, what does that even mean?
anyways, it is
But
really
yeah,
good. I love it. I laughed at it when he says when he was talking about reproductive organs and then taking I'm assuming the boy's uh banana, you know, cutting it off or whatever. Like I was just laughing while I was watching this trailer. I feel like I feel like the subbed is gonna be really, really good. But I feel like I'm gonna have to go and watch dubbed like every week as well, just to have that moment of like turn off brain, laugh at the bullshit that's going on. So
I mean, that you very well may be onto something there, but it seems like everything's going to be a lot more visual based for that kind of stuff.
yeah. But I'm like I said, I'm really excited to watch this on Thursdays. I'm glad that it's on, you know, all the platforms because this is a really hype show, and I think that this show in particular is like the must watch show of fall. Obviously, like if you don't watch anything else from fall, like new show from fall, you have to watch this. That's what I feel like. You just have to watch this. This is kind of like Nokotan, right? Like this is the most hyped show coming into fall, like new show, and you have to watch it. You have to watch at least a couple episodes. So,
I agree 100%. Yeah, it is definitely going to be a must watch.
but
Um,
yeah,
Speaking of must watches, in my opinion, this next show is probably going to be the one that I say is a must watch.
yeah. I mean, you should
It's
definitely
is
watch season one first.
I'm getting to
Yeah,
that. All
yeah,
right, all right.
yeah,
Let me cut into that. All right.
yeah.
This is going to be Shangri-La Frontier season 2. This is going to be on Crunchyroll, and it will be dropping on October 13th, which is a Sunday. So you guys have a little bit of time to actually binge the first 25 episodes. It is 25. They are about 30 minutes long. Um, but yeah, so this is being done again by C to C, and it's an action adventure fantasy.
And I just want to say C2C, if they're the ones that done season one, they done a
Yes.
really good job because like Shangri-La Frontiers first season, like the animation and the art style was one of my favorites of the season, and we had like Frieren and you know other shows, Apothecary Diaries and other shows like that that came out in that season too, and Shangri-La Frontier was one of the top of the season as far as like animation and art style and like visuals go. So
Yep. So I'm gonna give you guys a special treatment, right? This here is not a Tyler Moon special summary. Okay. This is a 100% genuine, real nom. Um, so for the summary, second season of Shangri-La Frontier. After beating Weathermon, the main story of SLF has started to reveal itself. Sunraku's eccentric and uncharacteristic approach to the game has kickstarted the story. Just how much further will he push it in this next season? The story only progressed by 1% in season 1.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Tyler mentioned Freerin, and during that time, I was let known that unfortunately Shangri-La Frontier did not make it onto the rundown that season. We're not gonna let that happen again. We're not gonna let that happen again. He may have mentioned it once before. He didn't quite get it to it right. The animation was probably the best of the season, and I will go out and say that because keep in mind it was a dual core. It was the best of both seasons, and it
I
was phenomenally choreographed as well.
I would have to disagree with that just because Frieren was also in those same seasons, and Frieren was, in my opinion, way better, like animated. Which like I'll give it to you though, like you haven't seen like all of Frieren yet. I don't know how far you got into it.
You have female lead character bias when it comes to anime.
Yeah, maybe, but you know, some of my favorite fights of Frieren, like animation wise, is actually Stark. You know, Stark, when Stark was fighting them demons with Fern, you know, that was one of my favorite early on fights, animation wise or whatever. Like the dragon, like I said, I just don't know how far you got into Frieren, so like it was 28 episodes. So do you happen to know like where you stopped at?
I know who Stark is.
Okay, so you're like really early on. You probably ain't even seen the dragon yet, have you?
I have. I saw that fight.
Okay. So it's like right after the dragon, I assume.
Yeah.
So you basically got just like a grain of taste of like what Frieren's animation is. Because the dragon was like the first step in like that caliber, you know. So you'll see. You'll understand what Madhouse was cooking up once you finish it in anticipation for the second season. But
What?
I ain't gonna take it away from Shangri-La Frontier though. You know, no one thought that Shangri-La Frontier was gonna, you know, be that well choreographed and like look that good. And like the color style, like the color palette or whatever, like it's just really good. Like it fits that show really, really good.
Oh yeah.
And like you know, the only reason why Shangri-La didn't win in like our battle royale with like Undead Unluck and Frieren was obviously because Frieren was, you know, really hopped up and like really good. But Undead Unluck, we really like the aspect of blood jetpacks. We really
That's
like
fair.
that aspect. So that's kind of why Shangri-La got beat out by Undead Unluck basically. Um but we was also worried that we was also concerned that Shangri-La Frontier wouldn't hold up for a whole 2 cower or 1 cower season. Like it would get boring. But I really do think that like it did hold up good, and we actually got like one of the better fights of 2024, 2023 slash 2024 in Shangri-La Frontier with Sunraku and Weathermon, right? Like that's one of the best fights, I think. So
Even the other two that were there contributing, right?
yeah,
Pencilgon, I can't remember who the other one was, but
yeah,
the two
it's the
of them,
ponytail chick that's a guy. I think I don't know.
y- yeah, a lot of guys typically
Yeah,
go with the female because of smaller hitboxes and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
I think that's why he said he chose that, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, because he's a competitive player.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, even their fight against the actual like horse. the metal horse, that was actually really good too. Just them going back and forth and them having to constantly keep using the revives. And that was another thing that was really well done, right? One thing that I really want to highlight about this show that one other certain VR full body show decided not to do,
Sword
right,
Art Online.
was was create a solid foundation and continue to build on it. This was not a show where he put on the headset and now all of a sudden he's trapped in this world as this character, right? And I was really afraid at first that that's exactly what was going to happen, and I'm glad that it's not. And that they're even continuing with the IRL stuff, right? Like they have a very solid foundation there where it's not just about the game. The game is obviously going to be a character in the show, but you have, say, Saiger Zero or Ray Saiga, as you will occasionally hear her be called. She is one of the top players in SLF. Um, she has obtained like the highest burst damage in the game, right? She has the biggest crush on Sunraku. She plays as this male character in like this legendary ironclad gear. And anytime that she's around him, she's just like this petrified little girl every single time. And you see her like stalking around and like following him in real life and then trying to find him in the game. And it's stuff like that that really helps propel the story forward too in such a great way.
Yeah.
You don't
Um,
have to worry about waking up at the end of the season and now all of a sudden you have some other quest to do IRL for the entire season until the end. And then you introduce a whole new game.
yeah, I really do think that like so we was worried about like this turning into SAO, right? Like when we was doing like the battle royale thing for when this aired like last fall or whatever, that was one of our concerns, I think, for all of us, is that somehow he would like get trapped in this game or some shit, and we did not want that to happen. And thankfully, it hasn't happened. I don't think it's gonna happen. Now that we've seen what this show is about, um, I do think that this show does a wonderful job of world building, and I also like the mechanics that they put in for the game, and like I like how they tell the story of the game as well. It's
Yeah.
got one of the best non-human characters in Emil, and like the boss bunny. I don't remember what his name is, but like those two are like some of the coolest supporting characters that's not humans or whatever. Like in like the recent times, you know, outside of like Mamoru from My Wife Has No Emotions, like Emil is so fun. And now we get the dark brown colored bunny. I think it's Emil's sister, like the blacksmith bunny. Um
Lilac.
Malag. I think she's gonna
Lilac.
be whatever her name is. I think she's gonna be a real big part of this second season because they're gonna have to make like tools and shit like to progress further. So like I'm pretty excited for more rabbits, more bunnies to join the crew. So
Yeah, and it's Visash, by the way.
okay, yeah, that sounds right. He's such a cool guy. He's such a cool character, bro.
He really is. And then speaking of just like the story and and stuff like that, right? Um, it's modern day, full body VR. We've established that they were going to school. We've established that. One thing that I like that they do too is that they also have like other games occasionally appear where like these players will interact with other people or they'll have meetings, like secret meetings in these other games and stuff. And
Well, they'll train. I think they've done some training sessions or some shit too.
they've even done training sessions. But one thing that really sticks out with SLF is its story and lore, right? And they've done a really good job of not spending too much time on it, but still kind of giving us like a vague idea of how things are. Some things are pretty bland, right? Like town names, right? Are very, very bland. And then you finally get into some of the other stuff where like at the end, right, of season 2, um, or the second cow rather, he's fighting off those like diamond scorpions and he's getting all those materials and then he takes it to Bilak and then she gets excited and then they have to go back and then they're trying to, just farm more and more of it and stuff so that way they can make those legendary equipment and stuff like that. They're doing a lot of really good job with world building, and MMOs are very, very well known for their story and their lore, right? And I'm really hoping that they really dive more into that this season because like we've seen the developers, right? They're the two women that fought. I think it was like episode 20, Weathermon got defeated. And now to be able to actually see things that are happening in game, the historian came up and he was interacting with Sunraku and they got this big library where they have everything cataloged that they know and whatnot, right? Just to see them dive more into that kind of stuff would be really cool too. Help
Yeah.
establish more what SLF is, the world.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get into some of that. Um, I think this season because we watched the trailer, one of the newest trailers that's come out, and they dropped some like hints on like what to expect. I guess. They said like they had on there searching artifacts of divinity, which I think we kind of knew that that was gonna happen. Like that's why B Lock is gonna be um like invested in the party now is because they're
Mhm.
going to be searching for these things in order to progress the story. They also say that they're going to be visiting new areas, which is going to be fun. We assumed that that was going to happen. They also say building clans, which is interesting. I think that maybe Pentagon and them may make their own clan and like maybe still Saga Zero. I would enjoy seeing something like that happen.
I
Also,
I
go
think
ahead.
that Tiger Zero would pass out
Oh
at
yeah,
the chance of being in the same clan. Like, she would
she,
never be able to admit it.
yeah. I mean, she
She
would do it in a heartbeat, though. And that would be huge for a new clan, right? Like the leader
she
or like the
she
number one PvPer, right?
she would do it in a heartbeat, but the problem is that her heartbeat would be so fast that she couldn't actually accept it because she couldn't push the accept button.
I'm gonna. It's gonna be interesting to see. The biggest piece of the thing that came from the trailer though is they said that there's gonna be a return of the Night Slayer, which is one of the big legendary monster things. I guess maybe that's gonna be the focus of this season. Maybe they're gonna go after it instead. I know last season we got to see the wolf a lot, and we thought the wolf was going to be like the focus, and then they switched it around, and Weathermon became the focus, and now I thought that maybe the wolf was going to be the focus this time too, but apparently the Night Slayer is. I'm pretty sure the Night Slayer is not the wolf, right? It's a different entity.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the wolf is
So
probably gonna be, like, end game boss, probably, like, the last unique monster that needs to be taken down, right?
yeah, because we got to keep the reason for like Sunraku not to have armor, right? Like he's got to
Yeah.
keep that reason. So
Yeah, and keep that dumb bird head on. It's
I
so
like it.
great. I love
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
Um,
Um, but the
but
world
yeah,
building in this is great too. By the way, I just want to reiterate that one of the things I like about it the most is the world building and the fun characters. Pentagon is one of my favorite characters. I ain't gonna lie. Um, so
fucking bitch. Um,
you don't like Pentagon? What?
no, no, I don't like Pencil Gun. She's manipulative. She knows how to game the system. She's a great ally. Don't get me wrong, right? Like if I was in that situation, I would want her on my team. not against my team, but at the same time, she's still a bitch. Um, so here's the real question. Do you think Saigo Zero will work up the courage to admit who she is to Sunraku?
I think so. Whether or not I think that she's almost did it in the past, right? RL. Um, I really don't think that she'll have the courage to do it IRL. I think that she will probably reveal herself in the game though. Um, I
Okay.
don't know when, but I feel like that's gonna happen this season. Um, and Sunraku is just gonna be confused because he's gonna be like, "What's the big deal?" Or whatever. And it's such
She's
a
gonna be
big
like,
deal for
who?
her,
He's
but
gonna be like, who are you?
it's such a big deal for her. But he's gonna be like, "What? Okay, cool. Nice to meet. Like, good to meet you. Like, I'll see you. Whenever they see each other at the game store or school, it's just gonna like be like, oh hey, Ray, I'll see you tonight or whatever, like, and she thinks it's gonna be something more. You know what I mean?
Every
So
time.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. I really hope that we get like nice balance. I feel like season one did a really good job of it. Between like RL stuff, like that kind of like subplot or whatever, and the actual game world. Uh like they kind of broke it up really well. They kind of balanced it out really well. So I hope this season two we get that same vibe and we get to actually see like that's like a great balance again. So
For sure.
but other than that, I also want to say that I feel like um anybody that plays like MMORPGs and stuff like that, I feel like that they would really enjoy this anime because like I do. Like I'm a big RuneScape player, old school RuneScape. So I love how they actually like show us the grind without showing us the grind. You know what I mean? They do such a good job at showing us that grind, but not actually taking a whole episode to actually show us the actual grind. You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to see that, right? So like they do a good job at showing that to us, portraying that to us, you may say.
They do a pretty good job of yeah, like really speeding up the grind so you can see the effort that it's taken. Cause again, like the whole real life balance thing. Yeah, the character logs in, middle of the day. Next thing you know, it's pitch black in his room as he's logging out. Okay, yeah, he played literally all day.
He's a
In the show,
grinder,
it might have
bro.
only been a minute, but no, he was grinding for hours in that one area. So,
While downing his monsters or whatever the hell, Red Bull, whatever the hell it is in the game. I mean, in the
it,
anime. So,
yep.
well, any other thoughts on uh Shangri-La Frontier season two?
Nope, just get to watching it, guys, so that way you can come check in and see what all the hype is with season two with us. October
Hell, hell yeah, October
13th.
13th. Yeah, which is a Sunday, by the way. Um, so our last, so we've already told y'all the three shows that we're gonna be adding. It's gonna be Shangri-La Frontier season two, DanDaDan, and also Bleach Thousand Year Blood War Part 3, The Conflict. And the fourth show that we're gonna have, y'all should already know. We always have One Piece. We're big One Piece fans on this podcast, so we're always gonna have One Piece in the rundown for as long as uh, the rundown exists, and as long as One Piece exists. And then if the rundown is still going after One Piece is over, uh, then we'll just be talking about the One Piece remake. Easy enough.
Exactly. One Piece will never end. Okay. We will always have One Piece to talk about. once the One Piece is done, then we'll start talking about the One Piece manga.
we'll we'll just restart it. We'll just we'll, if the remake isn't out yet, we'll just start it over from the beginning.
They
One Piece
remake the
will
remake.
One Piece will always be our fourth and last show of the rundown. It's just the way it is. So, uh, but if y'all haven't been keeping up with One Piece, it's gonna be some more of Egghead. I think we're gonna be getting into like the climax of Egghead probably during this season. So gonna be like a lot of fights. We're getting down into the true in game type stuff. A lot of secrets being revealed. So make sure y'all, you know, come by and check us out. Listen to us talk about One Piece and like all the theories that we talk about and like all that good stuff. So, um,
Look, I just got a few things I gotta say. All right, so being that I have read everything that is about to happen, I am so hyped for what is about to come. The absolute gas that is about to be dropped on us. Like if anyone thought that what happened in Wano was cool and all of those action scenes were awesome, like you guys have literally no idea yet. We got to see Luffy get Gear 5.
yeah,
That was what Wano was, right? It was Luffy getting Gear 5.
peak by the way.
You have no idea what is coming. And let me just say that if they can even get a slight smidge of what the animation has been now for what is like what we're about to see, oh my god, it's going to be so good.
Yep.
And so Tyler asked me earlier if we're going to get One Piece until January and or
Egghead.
sorry, Egghead until January at the earliest, or till January, and I was like, at the earliest. Honestly, we're probably gonna have it till like March or May, right? Egghead alone. There
Or
is
maybe
just
maybe
so
the
much.
start of the summer season, maybe the new arc or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would honestly say about there. But like there is just so much that is gonna be revealed. There is so much that's gonna be happening. There's so much like it is just it is such a good time to be into One Piece right now. And if you've been putting it off for whatever reason, stop. Just dive in, right? Even if you slowly take it in now, right? You can thank us later because trust me, it is so good. And everything leading up to this point is just so worth it as well.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming in One Piece, like the Egghead arc, because where we left off or whatever, it's like things are fixed to get very interesting on Egghead Island, the future island or whatever. So we got to see what's going on. We got to see the action pack, the the climax or whatever. We're fixing to get to all that, I believe. So if y'all enjoy One Piece, make sure y'all come out and listen to us every Monday because that's what we'll be talking about as well. Like I said, One Piece, Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, DanDaDan, and Bleach, Sasnir Blood War Part 3, The Conflict. But yeah, that is basically what our rundown is going to consist of starting next week, which is October 7th will be the first one. It's going to be episode 88 of the rundown. So hope to see y'all there. But if Nam doesn't have anything else, I guess that's it.
Sounds like a good place to end it.
Yeah, hell yeah. So before we go, just like always, make sure to rate us on your podcast platforms. Make sure you give us a follow too. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Leave us a comment. You know, it helps us get out there to more people as well. Subscribe as well. You know, tell your anime friends about us. If you have any anime friends or anything like that, let them know. You know, let them know. You know, we're just like chill buddies just talking about anime pretty much. Uh so other than that, linktree.com/anime degens. Don't forget to stop by the Discord for our watch parties, spooky season edition, uh coming this month in October. So yeah, we will see y'all on Monday with the first weekly rundown fall edition. Later.